Hi everyone, thanks for watching. I'm Lauren from Guthrie and Ganny, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you the live recording of the sewing and dressmaking themed live question and answer session that I did over on the Instagram platform on Monday the 6th of March 2023. So lots of you have sent in questions beforehand asking for advice or tips about your sewing and dressmaking projects, and then I've also got lots of questions for recommendations of different pattern and fabric combinations. So I've got loads of beautiful fabrics out to show you tonight, and there should be lots of inspiration for your next dressmaking project. If you are watching it here on YouTube and you do want to ask me a question, or you've got anything to sort of add yourself, then feel free to leave a comment below. You will see me reading out the comments and questions that come in live as well, so I'll make sure I'm trying to read them out just so you've got the context of how the conversation is flowing. But yeah, feel free to leave a comment or ask a question, and I can always include that in my next session. So I'm going to switch over to the live video now. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you soon. Hello everyone, good evening. It is Monday the 6th of March. That's right, yeah, 2023. And I'll be here with you for the next hour approximately, answering all your questions on everything sewing and dressmaking. So it's lovely to see so many of you joining live. Hello, I hope you're having a good evening, you had a nice weekend, and yeah, you're ready for some fun sewing and fabric chat this Monday. I've got lots of questions again, but it's funny, I just get a different mix. A lot of them are quite quick to answer. So I'm hoping that I do get through them all tonight, and I've also got lots of fabrics, of course, to show you. So yeah, some of them are new, some of them are brand new, they're not even on the website yet. I didn't want to show you too many of them, but they'll be on later in the week. So yeah, lots to share, lots to show you, and somebody's asking what outfit I'm wearing. That is on my list of things to chat about, so I will definitely be covering that as well. But hi everyone, thanks for saying where you're from as well. It's always interesting to hear where in the world you are. Somebody's saying they got the Ilford jacket pattern and it's going good so far. The Ilford's actually one of the questions tonight. Friday Pattern Company Ilford, lovely classic pattern. Lots of different things different fabrics you could use to make that to get different looks. Okay, so hi from Vancouver, so we're quite international tonight as well. Okay, so the first things first is, yeah, I'll cover my outfit because it is the kit that was released last week. So yeah, on the first Wednesday of the month, just get my head in the right date and what day of the week it is. The first Wednesday of the month last week was the release of our 2 new kits. So they have been pretty popular. Some of the colourways are sold out already, but one of them was the jumpsuit that I'm wearing just now. So this is the Megan Nielsen Durban jumpsuit, and we have picked a really beautiful tencel denim to make this. You can make it with lots of different fabrics, so you can make it out of linen or ramie, that looks quite nice as well, or for a more sort of stiffer option or structured option you could use like a cotton twill or something too. But this the version that I've got on just now is the wider leg one, and you can see that the legs do sort of swish around quite a bit because the tencel denim has just got a lot of movement in it, and it just works really nicely in that fuller style. So you can either have the fuller leg as I've got on just now, or you can have a bit more of a tapered leg, and then a couple of neckline options. So this is the V-neck one, which is a little bit lower, it's not too low, but a little bit lower, and then the rounded one probably comes maybe to like here. So I was wearing it with the True Bias Rio Ringer tee, and it was coming higher, so you could sort of see it at the neckline. But yeah, the rounded one came up higher than I thought. But yeah, just to give you some context. You can make it with sleeves if you want, but the fabric that is included in the kit is just to make the sleeveless version. So there's most of this one left, and then there's a little bit of the mid blue, a few kits of the mid blue one left. I always find it really interesting to see what colourway of a kit is going to be more popular, because this is actually my favourite one, but it's been the darker denim that is the more popular one. So yeah, if you're with me on the lighter coloured denim, then don't worry, we've got them left in stock. So yeah, that was the first kit, and then the other one was the Ultimate Classic, a denim jacket. So this is using the sew over it sorrento denim jacket pattern, which is actually from one of their ebooks. So yeah, you might recognise it from there, but we've not got many either. We've got a few of the classic denim one left. This is the Cone Mill selvage denim, the non-stretch selvage denim, and it's, you know, it's really cute. I wouldn't say it's cropped, it's just like, yeah, it's, you know, it's just quite sort of neat, and you know, it's not like really long or anything. It does finish at the waistline, and then it's got all this gorgeous top stitching on it as well, which is really nice. So yeah, we do have some of them left, not many, but we also had it in a cord in a couple of colours, but unfortunately they're all sold out. So yeah, we've got some of this, the denim one left, and then a few of the darker Durbans, and then the lighter one as well. I've got the kit in the darker blue, that fabric, yeah. I like the lighter denim, snap. Just waiting for the other bell fingers to arrive. It's practice tonight. Hope no one turns up so I can keep watching. Okay, fingers crossed. Just finished in Ilford. It's such a popular pattern. Can you recommend a fabric for a wearable toile of the Durban shorts version? Maybe a viscose linen. Yeah, you could use a viscose linen to do that. We've got lots of plain viscose linen. We've got prints as well, so you could definitely use that. I guess in sort of terms of kind of floppiness or swish, it's probably going to maybe be like a little bit more than the denim, because this is a 10.4 ounce, but yeah, that would work. Okay, so that was the kits, and then I hope you've been spotting all of the little sneak peeks of the birthday print fabric that I've been sharing each week as well. You can catch up with them all. Probably the easiest way to do that, you can look at the blog post that we've got that's about announcing the birthday event and party as well. Somebody was asking if the event on the Saturday, 1st of April, is going to be ticketed. It's not ticketed. You can just come any time of the day, come and go as you please. The shop will be open from 10 till 4, so yeah, anytime you can come on down. Don't totally know how busy it's going to be, but we'll see. You know, we've got, everybody will be in that day, so don't worry. Okay, so the other new things that I wanted to show you this week is some of the new Fabric Godmother fabrics. So we've got a few of them to show you. This first one is a sort of fruit themed one, which is really pretty. It's the Strawberry Fair viscose linen, so it's 55 linen and 45% viscose. And I would say, you know, it feels sort of lighter weight. It's maybe, is it opaque? It's not totally opaque. I don't know. I think if you were making like quite a straight dress, I don't know, you might feel like you wanted to line it, but if it had any sort of like gathers in it or anything, or if it was like a wrap or something, then I think you would probably be okay. But yeah, it would be really cute for little blouses and tops. It's really nice. Little strawberries are very cute. So yeah, that is one of the new Fabric Godmother ones on that viscose linen base. And then also on the viscose linen base is a print that you might recognise from them before, which I'm pretty sure it was on a viscose crepe the first time. So it's the same print, same scale, same amazing colours. I love the brightness of this one. Looks really good. I've got a feeling that somebody might have been asking what to make with this actually, further on in my questions. I think because the scale is quite big, you could just something quite simple, I think, would be. I did write down some suggestions for a top. Let's see if I can find it, because sometimes I lose my train of thought when I don't answer my questions in order. Yeah, so something like quite a simple skirt I think would work. I'm trying to think of a simple skirt pattern off the top of my head now. But you know, something that's just quite sort of simple and plain, you know, so it could show off the scale of the pattern. Simple tops, I've got the assembly line, I've got a few quite simple ones, the cuff top, the puff shirt. I think it would also work really nicely in the Friday Pattern Company Saguaro top. That would look nice. The patina blouse I think would be nice as well. So Liberated, I've got a couple of nice sort of simple tops. So yeah, because it's a mix of viscose linen, it's quite versatile base fabric. And yeah, I think you could make something like really statement out of that. I think it's gorgeous. The fjord skirt would be nice. Yeah, that's a nice simple one, isn't it? The closet core fjord skirt. Okay, and then the next ones, I've got a feeling they might be cotton lawn actually. Let me just check Are they? Yeah, they're a cotton lawn. This one's quite cool. It's like, if you like crochet, you'll like this one. So it's almost like lots of little crochet squares, which is quite cute. Nice crisp fabric. It's going to be really easy to work with and press, and yeah, but it's nice and lightweight as well. So again, another really versatile one for little tops, and you can make a dress out of too. And then these other two ones here. These are all in the Just Arrived section, so they're already online. This is the Pesca Floral Cotton Lawn, and it's a beautiful blue colour. Absolutely love that colour, with these little sort of coral peachy flowers on it, a bit more vintage vibes in that one. Another really lovely cotton lawn. And then finally this one here, which is almost a bit like a sort of stitched effect as well, which is really nice. It's flowers. And then it's got little sort of, yeah, like lines of different colours on them. Really nice. Again, a nice crisp cotton lawn, nice lightweight. So yeah, it's that kind of, this kind of fabric's going to gather really well, but it would also work well for anything where you do want a bit of form or structure held collars, button plackets, cuffs and that sort of thing. Look really nice and crisp in it as well. And then the next ones I've got to show you, these are new stripy cotton jerseys. So it's more like a t-shirt sort of weight. So yeah, like Real Ringer or the Tilly and the Buttons Agnes top, and all of the colours are quite muted. I'm going to hold them up together. They're quite heavy, but I wanted you to sort of see them all together, because I think sometimes when you don't really get the measure when you haven't got anything to compare it against. So I'm going to try and stack them up and then hold them up in front of you. Hopefully you can see that. So yeah, there's a blue one, a mustard one, a greeny one, and then a sort of like a mauvey kind of pinky kind of toned one. But yeah, they're really nice, and just a nice, lovely, nice sort of soft classic cotton jersey. I would also say that the white in it isn't like a really stark white either, so yeah, they just have a really nice sort of muted tone to them. And then the next ones are again different colours of this one. This is a double gauze fabric, and it's got one side of it, it's got these really fine little metallic lines in it. They're quite subtle. Hopefully they're catching the light enough for you to see, but they're really nice, lovely and soft. The reverse of them's just plain, so the metallic stripe is only on one side. We've got it in a classic white, and then also this greeny colour. This is the green, yeah, just green. It's called the Lurex Pinstripe Cotton Double Gauze Fabrics, £13.50 a metre. And then the other colours of that one are a really nice bright blue. It's very sort of summery blue, that one. I love that one. And then, yeah, kind of like a sort of light pink peachy kind of blush colour, which is really nice as well. And yeah, if you're new to double gauze, or you're wondering what to make with it, I do have a blog post that I did a couple of summers ago. It's got loads of tips on how to sew with it and different pattern suggestions as well. But it's a really lovely very nice and comforting to wear, nice fabric to work with as well. So yeah, those are the new double gauzes. So I think that's all the new things that actually no, there was this one. This is one of the ones that isn't online yet. So you're getting a sneaky preview of this. It'll be on later hopefully tomorrow, but maybe Wednesday. It's the Inkwell linen fabric. It's £16.80 a metre, and it's 100% linen. But it's quite a lightweight linen. And yeah, this is the pattern of it here. It's really lovely, gorgeous bluey tones, and yeah, almost a bit like sort of ink splatters. It's lovely. So yeah, hopefully you can get an idea of the sort of draping movement in that one there. I would say it is more like lighter weight linen, but you could definitely still make dresses with it, or sort of tunics and tops, and maybe like a kind of beach cover up caftany thing as well would be nice. It's a really lovely one. Gorgeous colours in that. All the blues are always popular. So yeah, hopefully that will be online tomorrow or Wednesday. All right, if I've been missing any here. Good evening, a bit late tonight. Been making a hinterland dress using checked cord from G&G. That sounds really nice. I love those birds in the background. Oh, and the window display. Yeah. I've got a little video tour up on that on my YouTube channel as well. So if you wanted to see the window in more detail, you can check that out there. Okay, so on to the sort of questions, and then I've also got some comments that are from the recording that I put on YouTube as well, because some people watch it on there, but they don't watch it on Instagram. And you know, quite often I'm sort of sharing the advice and things that you guys have got here on Instagram. So then this is some advice and things that have been shared from YouTube. So last week somebody had asked about sewing with a twin needle, and they were finding that one of the needles just wasn't stitching. So we were sort of trying to think of reasons why that might be and what your experiences were. So I've got a couple of kind of comments about that. I had trouble sewing with a twin needle and found out that on my sewing machine, one of the threads is supposed to be threaded in a slightly different way. Besides going in different ways at the top, there are two different grooves. One of the threads should be going inside the loop close to the needle, and for the other thread, one should skip that step. It looks wrong, but apparently that is how it's supposed to be. I don't know if this helps, but just a thought. My machine is an old Husqvarna one, and that's from Anna in Sweden. So yeah, worth checking maybe if there's a different way to thread up your threads if you're using a twin needle. And then somebody else said, I've sewn with a twin needle where one side sewed perfectly but the other skipped lots of stitches. I still haven't figured out why that happened, and it was a brand new needle, but I've since replaced the needle and then that one works fine. So potentially maybe a faulty needle could be at play, another option there. And then somebody had also asked about bomber jacket patterns last week too. So this person has said, I like the Charlie Bomber by Jali, a Canadian pattern company. One great feature of their patterns is the size range. This one covers kids from age 2 up to adults with a 50-inch bust. The method for the welt pockets is unbelievably easy and fast. Good video tutorial online. I've made one for me, most likely my most worn make, sorry, and another for my 6-year-old grandson. So another recommendation there for bomber jacket pattern. So yeah, thanks for sharing. It's always good to get your input as well. So the questions that were sent in beforehand, I'll start getting through all of them now, and if anybody else has got anything to sort of comment or add as I'm chatting through, then please feel free to do that. So somebody has asked, how easy is it to sew buttonholes on your viscose blended knit fabric? I meant to bring some of this over and I forgot, sorry about that, to show you. It's a fairly sort of spongy fabric. Actually, it's the one that we used to make the named patterns Esme cardigan. Is this fabric. It's actually pretty easy because it's quite smooth and flat, although it is like a little bit thicker and chunkier. It's not got like ridges on it or anything. So I would say it's actually pretty straightforward. I would definitely still interface it or sort of stabilize it, but yeah, I've found it's you know, fairly straightforward to do that, so you shouldn't have any problems there doing buttonholes. The next one was, I need to replace the needles on my overlocker. Can I use my sewing machine needles, and what size needles do I use? I think from what I can tell from looking around, that depends on the overlocker really. Some overlockers specify that you need a particular type of needle, whereas other ones say that you can just use regular sewing machine needles. And in terms of the size, I would say probably just what you most commonly use on your sewing machine, probably like an 80. Yeah, thanks Lauren. I was a bit worried. I've never done buttonholes in knit fabrics. That knit fabric's actually not too bad. It's the chunky rib knit that's a little bit trickier. So yeah, I think you'll be fine on that one. Okay, the next one was, why does fusible interfacing seem to shrink the fabric? Facings, etc. Any suggestions? I haven't ever actually had experience of interfacing shrinking the fabric, but I have had experience of the interfacing itself shrinking, and usually it's because the iron's too hot, or you're not using a pressing cloth and it almost like singes it, and then it kind of curls up and might go a little bit crispy or something. So yeah, I would probably say turn the temperature on your iron down and make sure that there's water in your iron so that steam's generated, and use a pressing cloth. It doesn't need to be anything fancy, just like a scrap of plain regular kind of cotton fabric, and works well as a pressing cloth. Okay, the next one was, I got the Sorrento jacket kit and I'm wondering how hard it would be to add side pockets, do you think? I'm sorry, I've got a really dry throat and I don't even have any water tonight. I think it's quite, because it's you know, it finishes at the waistline. I think if you did add side seam pockets, they would be quite high. Like, I feel like if you were then putting your hand in pockets at the sides, you'd kind of be like this. It's maybe like a bit high to be putting them in. I guess you could do. I have actually seen sometimes that jackets have like a well pocket at the side. I don't know if I put in the side seam, but potentially maybe you could look at putting a well on that side panel there. Might work. I don't know, I just feel like it's maybe a bit too high though. But you might not mind that. I don't know, just something to bear in mind. Okay, the next one was, I've snipped the lining of my Ogden. Any suggestions on how to patch it, please? I would say probably you need to go to the back of the fabric and iron a little scrap or like a little patch of interfacing on it to try and sort of hold those edges together. That might be enough to do it, to be honest. So yeah, you could do that, or it might be you could sort of like do that and then stitch over it, maybe with a zigzag stitch to sort of hold the edges together. Or I don't know, depending on how freeing the fabric is. And if you didn't mind seeing a little bit of interfacing on the right side of the fabric, you could put that on as well. Okay, the next one is, when you begin a project, is it because you love some fabric and you must have something to wear it in, so then you look for a pattern compatible? Or do you love a pattern, the shape, the design, and then search for a fabric that would work with it? I would say it can be both, either way. But probably most of the time it starts with the fabric, but I suspect that's because I see fabric all the time and I'm exposed to a lot of it. So usually I see the fabric first, but if a new pattern comes out and I love it, then I will look for a fabric for it. Okay, I've just made a wearable toile of the spring dress from So Love Patterns, and I am over the moon with the fit. However, the pattern calls for side seam invisible zip, which I am not sure I have inserted very well. My next version is likely to be less forgiving, so I want to get the zip right. Any good tips, tutorials to help? So if it's an invisible zip, I personally like to use an invisible zip foot to put them in. I just find it works easiest. I do have a tutorial on inserting invisible zips on my YouTube channel, so you could check that out as well. And it is a bit controversial. Not everybody like always does this, but I find it works for me. When I'm putting an invisible zip in, I actually iron the teeth back a little bit, but there is like a really fine line that you have to be really careful that you don't melt the teeth or you don't iron them back too much. But the idea really is that you just open the edge of the teeth up a little bit so it's easier to stitch close to them, and that's what makes it more invisible. So yeah, you can check out my video for more tips on invisible zips. Okay, the next one is, I want to make a waist slip and a full length slip so I don't have to line dresses and skirts. Do you have any pattern suggestions, please? And what silky non-static fabric do you recommend? So I was thinking you could extend the True Bias Ogden cami into a dress. You could just make that longer. The Vicasue satin skirt, and then the tessuti Evie bias cut skirt would also work as skirt options. And I would suggest trying to get either a Bamberg lining would be nice, or a viscose satin. I would probably say to try and avoid like the polyester ones, or the acetate ones, because they just, yeah, I just find that they can be like a little bit more sweaty. So yeah, that's my suggestions. Talking of zips, I did my first one this weekend. It's not awful. It's only taken me 2 years to do one. I bet it wasn't as bad as you thought either. I think a lot of people get scared of zips, but they're not as bad when you give them a go. Okay, the next one was a similar pattern to the honey blouse, as I've heard the instructions are hard to follow. I did find that, I mean, they're I wouldn't say they're hard to follow, they're just they're not really like detailed fibre mid ones. So I think if you've not got lots of experience and you can kind of read between the lines, then you maybe might find them harder to follow. But the construction of the honey blouse is, obviously it's got the frill in the collar, but I would say overall the construction's fairly straightforward. So you might be all right with that. I wouldn't totally rule it out. And you can actually look at the instruction, because of the way that Fibre Mood set up their PDF patterns. If you've got an account with them, you can actually look at the instructions before you buy the pattern. So you could maybe try that as well and then see if you can sort of work them out. But yeah, I did find the tessuti Harlow, which kind of might look a bit similar to the honey, but you would need to do a bit of adapting. You would need to straighten out the hem and you need to round the collar and then add the frill in yourself. So I don't know if you, maybe you might not feel confident about doing that anyway. The other one, again, you'd have to put in the frill yourself. It's a Friday Pattern Company patina blouse, but it does have more like a V-neck, so it's a little bit different shaped at the neckline. Okay, somebody's saying, I always iron the teeth on invisible zippers and have never melted the teeth. That's good. Okay, the next one was a stylish jogger pattern for girls 10 plus. Brindle and Twig modern jogger is really nice, quite sort of nice fit, looks like a slimmer fit, and it goes ages 6 to 14. Okay, next one is wool fabric suitable for the Ilford? Any tips and wool fabric recommendations? So with the Friday Pattern Company Ilford, I think you can really, this pattern I've seen be used with loads and loads of different types of fabric, from things literally like as lightweight and floppy as a viscose fabric, where then it clearly just looks a bit like an oversized blouse instead, to something that's much more thicker and structured like a fur backed cord fabric. So, you know, there's like two extremes there. You definitely can use wool fabric. Wool fabric can vary a lot. Some of it's a lot thicker and more structured, some of it's more lightweight and floppy, and you could use either of them. I think really what it comes down to is what sort of finished kind of silhouette are you hoping that the garment will have, and if it is something that you want to hold its shape and its structure a little bit more, I would probably stick to something more like boiled wool, the boiled wool end of the scale. Like, you know, like this one here, this is a boiled wool, which is just a bit sort of thicker and kind of spongier, and it just holds its shape a lot more. Whereas this one here is a bit thinner, and it's going to be like a little bit more floppy, especially in that sort of looser style of the Ilford. This is the dark anthracite wool blend fabric, 65 wool, 7 cashmere, 20 nylon, it's 20.50 a metre. So yeah, I think you just need to sort of have a think about what sort of shape you want the garment to hold. And then somebody else had asked about, no, sorry, I'm getting mixed up. Pattern recommendations for boiled wool. So that's the fabric that I showed you there. So yeah, you could use the Ilford for that, as we just said. The Sovret Cocoa jacket, which is like quite a nice sort of short cropped jacket as well, would be nice for that one. And then pattern suggestions for an A-line skirt suitable for a wool mixed fabric. I think the Sovret Ava skirt's a classic for that. We did that in a kit and it was really nice. Nice, just simple classic A-line skirt. Okay, fabric for making men's swimming trunks. What fabric to search for? I think you need to search for swimwear fabric. Sorry, I'm losing my voice tonight. Swimwear fabric, activewear fabric. If they are actually going to be doing lots of swimming in them, just check out that it's definitely chlorine resistant, because some swimwear fabrics haven't actually been tested for chlorine resistance, so just watch out for that one. We do have some Liberty printed swimwear fabric which is chlorine resistant. Obviously you could make men's trunks out of that if you wanted to. It's quite floral, but you know, that's okay. Anybody can wear flowers. Okay, the next question was, what fabrics are suitable for making gussets in lingerie sewing, please? In my very small experience in making lingerie, some pants basically, is a cotton jersey is good for that. So we do have a really nice organic cotton jersey that's 95 organic cotton, 5% elastane. This is in the black. We do have it in white as well. I couldn't find any on the shop floor just now, so if we are out of stock, we'll be getting more in. It's like one of our regular things that we stock, but yeah. This is the black basics organic cotton jersey fabric, $14.40 a metre. And remember, we do sell by the 10 centimetre as well, so if you are just using it to make gussets and you'll need a tiny little bit, then you could just get 10 or 20 centimetres. You sound like you need a cuppa, and I've just put the kettle on. I mean, if you could pass it in to me, that'd be great. I normally do have a cup of tea before I came over, but I didn't tonight. Anyway, okay, the next question was, can I see Meat Milk's tencel twill in black, and would it be suitable for Simplicity 8554, which is like a soft sort of trench kind of loose jacket which got big lapels and then a big belt. Looks really nice, quite simple, and I think it would work really well. This is the black smooth draped tencel twill here. I would say it's more of a matte black. All of the smooth draped tencel twills I've got that more sort of matte feel to them, but it, you know, it drapes and moves around really nicely. It's lovely. So I think that would be a good combo, most definitely. Okay, the next one was, can you show linen mix fabrics for blouses? So I've got this one here, which is a linen viscose mix. It is the Linear Leaves viscose linen fabric, and it's 80 viscose and 20 linen. So because it's got quite a lot of viscose in it, 80% viscose, then it is really, really floppy, and it would be lovely for a blouse because it's just got so much lovely sort of movement and drape and swish. So that would be a really nice one. If you want some plains, we do have lots of plain viscose linens as well, and lots of really lovely bright colours, so worth checking them out on the website too. Just trying to think if I brought over, yeah, I did also bring over another printed linen blend. What was the question again? Was it viscose linen? No, it just said linen mix. Okay, so I do have this one, which is linen and cotton, 55 linen and 45 cotton. It's the soft green pinstripe linen cotton fabric. It's £13.50 a metre, and it comes in other colourways, and it also comes in a mid stripe as well, so where the white stripe is a bit narrow and then the coloured stripe's a bit bigger. But this one's going to have a little bit more structure to it. It doesn't sort of swish and drape as much as the viscose linen mixes, but it does still work really nice for blouses where you want a little bit more shape and structure to be maintained. So that's another option. And then I do have this one in quite a few different colours as well, which is another viscose linen mix. The tag is at the bottom of this one. It is the Navy stenciled roses viscose linen. It's £13.50 a metre. This is 75% viscose and 25 linen. And yeah, it's a bit more of a larger scale. It's really nice. Comes in a sort of tangerine colour and a lighter blue as well. And it would be really nice for blouses and tops too. Okay, the next one was any patterns for wearing together as a faux dress. So the new Friday Pattern Company, I think it's the Saturday skirt set, is it? The Saturday set. It's a skirt and a blouse, which is like a little set that goes together. So you obviously make that in the same fabrics, it would go really nicely. Other combinations I was thinking is maybe like a wrap top and a wrap skirt. So like the Closet Core Fior, you can make a wrap version of that. And then the Ella Sew Over It blouse, it's like a wrap blouse for woven fabric as well. So you could pair them together too. The next one was, I have a lovely French terry fabric that I'm looking for the perfect jumper pattern for. You could use French terry to make all of the classic jumpers that I love. The Megan Nielsen Jara, Tillian Buttons Billie, Green Line Linden, Soho 7 Toaster, you can make all of them with French terry. Have you shown the new fabric Godmother fabrics? I'm joining late. I have, yeah, showed them at the beginning, but you can watch back on Instagram or on YouTube tomorrow as well. Okay, so next one here about jumpers again. I used the same fabric for my billie to serge the collar. I'm presuming the neckband. It's standing up for some reason. Any suggestions? It might be maybe that it was too long and you needed to stretch it a little bit more to get it to sit flat. So it could be that, or it might just be needs a good press and maybe like top stitching it down. So top stitching the seam allowances down might help it to sit a little bit flatter as well. But it could be maybe that it was just a bit too long, it needs to be stretched more, so that it would, yeah, sit a little bit flatter. Okay, good patterns for jeggings in larger sizes, and what denim would I use? So I managed to find a pattern company called Sinclair Patterns, which had a nice jegging pattern called the Vienna Jeggings. So you do need a 4-way stretch denim for this. This particular pattern said it needed to be 30 to 50 horizontally and 20 to 30 vertically. I don't actually have any denim at the moment that's as stretchy as that. So I'm sorry, I don't have any answers for you there, but yeah, you do need to find something, a denim that's pretty stretchy if you're going to make jeggings. Okay, the next one was a dress pattern in fabric for a wedding. So some of our new viscose fabrics, which are really bright and colourful, I thought would be perfect for making a dress for a wedding. This is them here. And I mean, I think the Closet Core Elodie is such a classic dress. It's quite simple to make, but it's really striking. It looks really good. So here we've got the pink Painterly Blooms viscose tencel twill, which is £15.40 a metre. It's very vibrant. It's obviously got a sort of darker base to it, a darker tone, but then these really lovely bright pink flowers. So that would be a nice option. And then this one here is the Neon Blurred Blooms viscose fabric, which is just so lovely and bright and vibrant. I love the kind of pinks and purple and orange sort of hues in that. It's really lovely. And then this one here is the Vibrant Flower Burst viscose fabric. Again, just beautiful colours in that one. Really lovely and bright, and yet very summery. And I think those all look stunning as a guest at a wedding. Somebody's asking, will you be at the NEC in mid-March? I'm sorry, we won't. We don't do shows anymore, I'm afraid. But you're not too far away, so you could always come to the shop. Can you recommend a pair of comfy, stylish summer trouser patterns? Yeah, I have made the Merchant & Mills Eve trousers in a Sorrento viscose linen and 100% enzyme linen as well, and I wear them a lot in the summer. They're really comfy, and they're, you know, arguably like fairly smart as well. Quite a simple trouser. They're nice, so I would suggest that. Do you have recommendations on how to add pockets to the Sorrento jacket? I'm not sure if it was you that asked that question before. I did sort of briefly touch on that earlier. I would say probably a welt in the side panel at the front. You could maybe think about that, but it will sit quite high. So just bear that in mind. I've made some knickers out of that black fabric you are holding, and they feel fab on. Well, that's good. Okay, so right, the next one here is fabric for the tessuti Evie bias cut skirt, preferably a satin finish for a wedding outfit. I have picked this fabric Godmother one here, which has got a beautiful satiny finish. It's the Rosita Viscose Ecovero Satin, and it would look lovely. It's got quite a, you know, fairly larger scale again, beautiful coloured blooms on that one, and you can see it's catching the light. It's got a really lovely sheen on it, so I think it makes it look really sort of luxe and, yeah, fancy. Another good option for a wedding. Then the next one was a blouse pattern for the tufted dobby cotton fabric, not with a collar or sleeveless. So this was the one, if you saw my reel that I did the other week where I was comparing two different fibre mid normal blouses that I made, and one of them was using this fabric. We don't have any in stock at the moment, but we do have more on the way. I'm hoping it'll be here soon. So yeah, it was like a sort of plain white fabric, but had little tufted dobby spots woven into it in different colours. So yeah, you could make the fibre mid normal blouse. It's not got a collar, but it does have sleeves. The Sovra Isabella blouse was another one that I thought looked nice. It had more sort of like a butterfly or kind of fluted sleeve, and then just a simple neckline probably with a facing. It didn't have a collar or anything. The other one that I think would also look nice in it as well is the Helen's Closet Gilbert blouse, and I've made a few versions of that don't have sleeves on it. There's a tutorial on our blog that shows you how to make it sleeveless, and it looks really nice. It does have a collar though, but then it doesn't have sleeves. Okay, and then the next one was, do you have any 100% cotton knit for making a loose t-shirt? I'm sorry, I don't have any 100% cotton fabrics that are like knitted or jersey. But you could definitely make a loose t-shirt out of a cotton jersey that did have some elastane in it. That would still work as well. So yeah, we've got like a range of just basic cotton organic jerseys that are all just plain, and they would work nice for a loose t-shirt. The next one was, I have the olive tencel twill from a previous kit, and I need a lining fabric to make a coat with it. So this is we don't have any of the fabric left, but I think it was this one here. It was when we used the Sylvia robe pattern in the summer to make like a little sort of lightweight summer jacket. And I think that fabric Godmother Joni stripe looks really nice with it. I think the colours tone really well. So depending on the style of jacket you're making, it's quite sort of loose and you're maybe just going to be wearing it over like a little top or a blouse or something, you could probably line it in the whole thing. Or you could use something different for the sleeves if you wanted. If you wanted to just use something plain, we do have plain viscoses as well. If you didn't want to put that in the sleeve where nobody's going to see it, you just put that in the bodice. But I think that would be really nice. I think actually I've seen on the Fabric Godmother page before that they've used that as a lining in a coat. I think it was maybe a paper cut Nova coat, and that was the lining. Oh, I've just shaken all my tripods and cameras there. So yeah, I think that would be a good combination. Put that fabric to the side so I don't kick anything again. Okay, the next one was what fabric for lander pants for the spring. I think that put that up as well before a trip. The Rami fabric would be really nice for this. It's a nice sort of thicker weight. It's very textured. It's non-stretch, and I think that would look really nice in the landers. And it comes in lots of different colours. This one is the muted cornflower, and it's £14.80 a metre. But yeah, it does come in lots of other colourways as well. And then we've got a purple trouser fabric for the Merchant & Mills Eve or a wide leg pattern. You've found a hole in the fabrics that I've got because I don't have any purple fabrics that are good for trousers. I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry about that. Any purple fabrics that I've got are not really trousery fabrics. Okay, next one was fabric for tailored trousers. So I think, I'm not totally sure what you're picturing by tailored trousers, but I think this fabric here is really good for trousers that where you want them to like look a bit smarter. Something like the Closet Core Mitchell I think would be really nice in this one. So this particular colourway is the muted moss, and it is the bamboo blended twill fabric. It's 49 bamboo, 49 recycled polyester and 2% spandex, and it's crease free. I think it actually says it on the selvage. Yeah, wrinkle free natural fabrics, so it is really good for trousers because it's not going to crease. That will be the recycled polyester content that's in it, but it feels really soft and it's got really lovely sort of swish to it as well. That's the bamboo that's doing that to it. But yeah, we've got it in some really lovely classic colours. It looks really, really nice in a pair of trousers. And then the last one that I've got here is, can you recommend a luxurious jersey to make a billie jumper dress? I want to wear one to work, but I think I need to find a smart jersey, not sweatshirting to pull it off. So I ended up finding a few different options for this. And two of them are inspired by actually a jumper dress that I bought years and years and years ago from Jack Wills. And it was like a kind of knitted jumper dress, sort of, kind of like bit oversized kind of cocoon shape, and these fabrics kind of look like a little bit knitted, so it's sort of reminding me of that. This one's a little bit more floppy because it's got viscose in it. It's the navy variated rib knit fabric, and it's £19.30 a metre. You see those sort of textured stripes on it there, so that'll give you one that's like a little bit more kind of floppy and swishy, and then this one will give you one that's got a little bit more sort of shape and structure to it. The only thing is that this doesn't have a great amount of stretch in it, this one. So you might have to size up potentially on the billie because the billie is a little bit more fitted. This is the navy knit effect fabric, and it's almost double-sided. So one side sort of looks like little rigid lines of like knitted fabric, and then the back just looks like a jersey fabric really. So I think that would also look nice as like a sort of knitted jumper dress. And then the other one that I think could potentially work, although it is probably like more on the thinner side, is the loop back modal jersey that we've got now. This is actually, I talk about that fabric all the time. We've got it in loads of colours. It's so good for so many different things. I've made loads of stuff in it, and we've got a new colour in it. This is one of the new colours that isn't online yet, so we haven't actually named the colour, but I would say it's like a tealy sort of petrol colour. It's beautiful. And this is a really lovely soft sort of silky fabric, and the reason I picked it is because it does maybe have a bit more of a sheen on it, and I thought that might make it look a little bit smarter. The other option is just quite a plain sweatshirting fabric, but in the black. I mean, I feel like black's generally quite smart, isn't it? And I know you said not sweatshirting, but I feel like this potentially could be a smarter sweatshirting. This is the one I used to make my toaster version 2, and it's definitely my smartest version of the toaster version 2. So I don't know, I guess it depends sort of what vibe it is in your office and kind of that sort of thing. But yeah, I think that would work as well. That would look nice as the billie. Okay, somebody's saying, can you show some suitable dark pattern fabric for the Friday Pattern Company Avenir jumpsuit. I will add that onto my list for next week if you just send me a direct message so I can add it on, because I'd need to go and have a little look around the shop and look out one for you, which I can't get to right now. I'm looking to make a spring jacket in a sky blue wool, but not sure what jackets are on trend. Any ideas? A spring jacket in a sky blue wool. I suppose it depends kind of how smart or casual you want to go. I mean, there are some really nice like simple blazer patterns that could work. The Avid Seamstress, they've got a nice sort of simple blazer which looks really nice. And then there's the Heather blazer, the Friday Pattern Company Heather blazer as well, which could work. Okay, does anybody have any other quick questions before I go? I think I'm going to call it early tonight because I don't know what's happened to my voice. I am like kind of struggling to like get my words out. I should have brought over some mints to suck or something. But thanks everybody for joining me anyway. And I hope you've found lots of inspiration in everything that's been shared tonight. And there'll be more new fabrics getting added on during the week. We had a couple of deliveries today, so that is good. I'll have more new things to show you next week. And yeah, I hope you have time to sew between now and the next time I see you. I'm hoping that I will. I've got some saguaro trousers that I want to make just now in the plain viscose linen, so that I can wear them with like fancier sort of tops and blouses as the weather gets a little bit longer. I'm not even making sense now. As the days get longer and the weather gets warmer. I was trying to say two things at once there. But yeah, thanks for your thanks everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I will indeed enjoy a cup of tea. Thank you. Get well soon. Thank you. I mean, I think I'm fine. I just can't really talk tonight. So yeah, I'll see you next week. Bye everyone.